Hello everyone, this is Editing Robin here. Now, the video you're about to see is the mission Halo. However, I had a lot of stress and delays and things that led up to this video obviously not being released as intended. So I got one of my friends, DeShoit and I, in a call, and we had a long chat while we watched the stuff in the background. So if you're interested in two guys chatting, this is the video for you. So, you ready to react to some epic gamer footage? Or, I don't know. I'm gonna start... yeah, you're not even...
As a pseudo-Halo aficionado, I am oh so ready.
I'm just gonna say right now, what are you laughing about?
Nothing.
I'm just gonna say right now, we're not even gonna be watching the actual video. We're not gonna be watching a video, we're gonna be watching the preview window in Premiere.
Let's go.
It's gonna be the most wonderful thing ever, and I'm gonna awkwardly shoehorn in any old thing about my channel. It'll be wonderful.
Nice, I get first person advertising, let's go.
No, I meant more about the other stuff that's going on, but tell me when. I haven't even edited this, by the way, it's just the clips for half an hour. Well, sorry, 30 minutes and 8 seconds.
I mean, I've watched longer videos.
Oh yeah, no, this is at least trimmed down, so it's just background footage.
I mean, look, I watched a 4-hour video on avocado, so, I don't know why, but I watched it.
Well, tell me when I'll start this garbage.
Whenever you are ready.
Yep, it's gonna be very quiet, by the way. I might turn that up. Can you hear that, or is it loud?
At last. Are you
No, it's not loud.
Can you hear it properly?
I can hear it quietly, which is good enough.
Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna turn that up a tiny bit. Volume. It gets very loud very fast, which annoys me. I need to balance that later. Wait a minute, I just realized that it's only streaming the preview window of Premiere.
Alert.
Hey,
it's not streaming the entire... sorry, it's not streaming...
Discord is intelligent.
Yeah, I thought it was just gonna stream that to you.
So did I.
Okay, so this is...
I already have one criticism straight off the bat.
Yep,
new graphics.
Yep, now the thing about this is I've played through Halo Combat Evolved to Reach before on the old graphics and the original games on the Xbox, so I just wanted to play through on the newer graphics to see what it's like, give it a go.
Yeah, I will say, pretty much every single level in Halo I feel is better with the new graphics.
No.
The only issue I find is
disagree.
Forerunner structures.
I disagree entirely with you. I'm sorry.
On every aspect?
Yeah, I would. Apart from maybe textures. So all the models look a bit nice, you know, there's the minor issues like they don't quite match up with the original, that's fine. It's a remake. They did so much that, you know, it has to slip by. One of the main issues is the change in atmosphere. Because all these planets used to look really alien, now they just look like Earth in the morning.
You say planets, but it's planet, it's ring.
Yeah, I mean, but you do go to different rings, don't you, throughout the series or not? Am I misremembering?
In the series, yeah, but not in the original.
Yeah, I just meant it looks less alien, it looks more like Earth.
It looks a lot more friendly, almost.
Yeah, everything's brighter, and it's all just... I feel like they wanted to take advantage of the lighting, but... I don't know. I would rather they just stay true to the original. No offense.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to hear a fun fact?
Uh-oh.
At this point in time, it has now been, I believe, 84 days since I last recorded a Halo video.
Wow.
Yeah, I originally...
Keeping on top of that upload schedule,
Oh, I really am. I wanted to start this as a new series, and I think I edited like half of the first one. Oh, sorry, half of this one. And then... I can't remember what happened. I think I just got bored, or I lost motivation entirely. And I just scrapped it. I deleted everything.
Ah, yes. One of the great flaws of YouTubing these days.
Oh, I want to point out, by the way, before you laugh at my garbage aim, in the original audio that has been removed, I was complaining about how I hadn't played any form of video games in about 3 weeks, I believe, at the time of playing this. So this was like my first time back on a computer.
It looks like you're a CSGO player trying to hit a real sick flip, but you're just overcompensating it.
No, I honestly don't know. I was playing on Xbox, that's like what I play on whenever I'm not on my PC, so... I don't know, I just end up beating them to death, that's like my go-to.
I mean, look, when it comes to elites, it's really all you can do.
Yeah, I was
You
playing...
just gotta beat them up.
I was playing Reach, obviously, earlier, and I was noticing I was just hitting headshot after headshot, just killing thing after thing immediately, felt like an unstoppable force, and for the first time, I felt like using a sniper rifle. And I think that's just because I've been playing more shooters recently. I'm finally understanding why people enjoy them. Apart from Halo, I've always enjoyed Halo.
Yeah, I will say the Reach gunplay is very different from CE gunplay. Because there is a lot of very subtle auto-aim that happens on the first shot.
Is there?
Meanwhile, CE, you get pretty much no aim assist outside of the reticle.
It's funny because I feel like I aim better in CE.
I do too. Like, I feel I am much better, but that's probably because I'm not having to worry about the system overcompensating for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I always hate about the implementations of certain auto-aims. It's when you go into them, you try to aim at something and it just nudges you to the right, so it's like, yeah, we're helping, and you miss everything.
Yeah, you aim in and it's automatically shoves you a little to the left or the right to aim on it, but then you're also moving a little bit to the left, so next thing you know, you've gone too far.
By the way, I don't want you to hate me for this, but you know how I said I played through Halo as a kid? It was like the thing, I went to a friend's house and we had the curtains up. No, what was it? We had sheets hanging from the ceiling for split screen. and what we would do is we'd sit down late at night, well, you know, like 9 PM, that was late for kids. And we would be there with our bowls of popcorn, some people fighting over the chairs and cushions. We'd hang out like multiple sheets to try block off the split screen on this little CRT TV. And I remember we played through like the original Halo and then Halo 2, and then we were really excited and we got to Halo Reach. And they told me, my friend at the time, that it wasn't a very good campaign. So I've played through Halo Combat Evolved 2 and 3's campaign, but I've never played Reach's campaign.
They probably said that because when it came out, it had sprinting in it, and that was sacrilegious.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of sprinting, honestly. But what I'm going to say about...
It works well for Reach.
Kind of.
But, like,
I almost never use it.
That's it. And it's only because maps are bigger and made to accompany the sprinting.
Definitely. But then it makes the walking itself pointless. It's like, what are you supposed to do if you walk? Everything takes ages to get to. By the way, I did play Reach a ton, more than the other Halo games, because of Forge. I don't know why, but Halo Reach and Forge were like bread and butter to me.
Yeah.
It made perfect sense.
A lot of Halo creators got their start on Reach's Forge.
Oh yeah.
Because there was just so much to do, there was so much variety, and you could do so much stuff. Speed Halo, for example.
Oh yeah.
Probably one of the greatest custom modes.
Oh, that's what
It really popped off during Reach's time.
Oh, that's what I hated about Reach. The introduction of Sprint meant that whenever you were in Forge and you placed down stuff like your speed ramps and you made all your little driving courses, it meant you could no longer just say, a player goes this fast. You had to account for sprinting as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Oh, by the way, I want to point out this thing we're watching at the moment in the background. This isn't the first time. I'd had a 3-week break in gaming, I said that. This was my 4th or 5th attempt. I think what happened is... right there.
I saw that coming.
Every time, I somehow didn't notice someone with a grenade hiding away, and they would just run out and immediately blow me up. So I had to retry this like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 times. I had to trim out about 25 minutes worth of this footage of just me coming back here over and over, dying at the same point. And you can see me looking over, predicting where they're going to be and throwing stuff in advance, just because I already remember.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm not used to is like their AI is, you know, they actually hide and try to preserve their own lives.
Yeah, they're surprisingly intelligent for, like, 2001.
I think I commented on that on my original Halo 2 series. It was something along the lines of, I don't think I've played it against AI that's felt this smart in a long time. And it's purely for the fact that they, I don't know, they actually work together, they have some form of combat sense.
Yeah. you kill an elite and the grunts under its command flee along with the jackals.
Yeah.
If you take out enough grunts and there's only one left in a like a group, it will pull out grenades, at least in Reach and 3 and so on. It will pull out grenades as a final last-ditch fuck you effort.
One thing I'm gonna say is that this is what I really hate about... I don't know. I shouldn't really go on a rant about Reach, but I feel like from Halo 3 onwards... We know Halo Reach, Halo 3, 4, 5, blah blah.
Yeah.
Did I just restart? No, okay.
You are really close to it.
Yeah, I think I was considering it just because, oh yeah, I'm on really low health, so I was just like, is it just worth redoing it? Anyway, one thing I don't like is, from Halo Reach and 3 and onwards, I feel like they just kept watering down the enemies, and they got easier and easier. They got rid of all the nuances that made them hard to fight against and special.
Unfortunately, in some cases they did.
I remember hunters and grunts are two things, I don't know why, but they really stick in my mind as being... I don't know, I remember being disappointed for some reason about them.
I know the grunts sort of got a couple of little buffs and debuffs, but they just never felt the same.
Oh,
and I guess you could never one-shot a hunter with a magnum.
Oh no, not anymore.
CE.
Although,
those were the days.
in stuff like Reach, it's really... I feel like the movements got more predictable somehow. It's like the 10-month crunch for Halo 2, and having to re-scrap half of it like 5 weeks before release or something. I don't know how that made a better game than most of the modern ones. I'm excited for Halo Infinite though. You know how people complain about the graphics, or have been?
Yes.
Have you noticed something about the way it looks? I haven't read any...
What a lot of people have said about Reach, not Reach, Infinite, sorry,
Infinite.
is that the graphical design is fucking beautiful.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is, although it's disappointing for a game released in this era, I haven't read anything about it. I don't know if this is intentional, but I get really strong Combat Evolved vibes from it.
That is intended.
Yeah, it really feels like, although it's more of a downgrade compared to Reach, and I think I played Halo 4 at a party for like 10 minutes. Although it's definitely a downgrade from those, I would say it's more true to the Halo art style. I mean, whether that's intentional or not, they may have just been limited by the technology of their time.
As far as I know, the art style of Infinite was meant to take on the sort of design of CE, being that like that mix between cartoonish and alien. Which is sort of, it got really hard to do that sort of art style after you've played a Halo game. Like, you can only be mystified by a setting once.
Oh, definitely. Oh, by the way, can I, you know that big jump we had right there?
Yes.
I regret...
How many times did you fail?
No, I didn't fail. I managed to drive... you know how I have a really bad memory? I managed to drive in a loop about 10 or 20 times before something clicked in my head and I thought, wait a minute, I just kept driving around and thinking, oh, this place looks nice, oh, this place looks nice, oh, I wonder where I should go. And then I was just driving...
What's this thing? Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I've seen that one before.
No, that's what I hate about gaming with, like, really bad memory, is that I'll come back to it, like, the next day, and I'll just go all the way back to the start of the level because I think I'm going the right way. So I don't remember anything. It's why I think editing the video is good. You get to at least...
Oh, don't tell me you... Oh, you did.
Now, can I tell you what I was... Can I tell you what I was thinking here?
Please do.
I've got out my PSP recently. You know, PlayStation Portable, the original from 2004, and I've been playing Lego Indiana Jones. And quite a lot of those have the little faith bridges, or whatever they're called, the invisible bridges. So I don't know why, but when I was playing this level, I saw that and my brain just said, yep, drive over it.
I both forgive you and I cannot forgive you for that.
Yeah, oh wait, no, I believe that was the reason. Another reason I have driven off bridges in Halo before is I think I've been playing a bit of Doom Eternal as well, and I know a lot of those bridges only, you know, open up or appear once you drive really close or walk really close. So it's like a combination of the two. I'm used to invisible bridges and ones that only appear when you go up to them.
Look, the most intelligent thing this game does is a cutscene.
I mean, I'm not actually the biggest fan of the cutscenes. No offense.
I never said they were good. I just said that they're most technologically advanced.
Yeah, I don't like how you're playing from Master Chief's perspective, even if it is third person at times. But in the cutscenes, you just completely break away from his perspective. It's like you're no longer in control or even witnessing it from the view of him. You're just like a cameraman. And what's made worse is I notice in the remastered versions, you know how the eyes move around?
Yes.
I don't know if this is a bug or if it's just where they would have looked in the old versions, but they keep making direct eye contact with the camera. So you'll be down like at Master Chief's feet, just looking up with a really dramatic frame shot, and as the people are talking, their eyes will just go down to face you.
You know, I don't think I ever recall seeing
it's really noticeable in Reach because they have a lot of close-ups of all the people. If you ever play in the bits where they're like sitting in a room together, or they've just recovered from the aftermath, you'll see them just looking at the camera, then back to Master Chief. Oh, sorry, back to whoever that guy is. I forgot. Reach doesn't have Master Chief, does it?
No, he's Noble 6.
You know what? Yeah, Noble 6. I feel like that might be why I was told it was a bad campaign. It might have been because my friend was really obsessed with
Master Chief.
My friend was really obsessed with Master Chief. There is a chance that he found out it didn't have Master Chief and he just told me it was a garbage campaign.
Oh, the Chief's not in this one, it's shit.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, don't get it.
That kind of sounds reasonable if you think about it. I don't know how old I was. I would have been 5, so this is about 13 years ago. I don't know what year that is. 21 minus 13, my brain is dead. Is that... I can't remember.
Local 5-year-old gets cucked playing Halo Reach by a Halo stan.
Give me a second. Okay, so it would have been... No, that can't be right. 20...
Now look, math wasn't my strong suit, but surely it can't be this dark.
Okay, 2008, there we go. So, when did the Reach come out? Give me a second.
I actually don't know.
I can check. Reach came out in 2010. Okay, so it would have been a few years after. I think I might be thinking of it was definitely Reach, so it might have been a year or two later. Either way, it was around 2010. So I would have been maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9 at the time. So picture, I think it was about a year younger, so imagine the view of a 7-year-old who is obsessed with Master Chief. And then he finds out that the game he just spent all of his allowance on doesn't have Master Chief in it.
Mate.
I keep forgetting I was...
If a kid could get blue-balled, it's that.
I keep forgetting I was 7 years old. Oh, I think we're coming up. I don't know if I included this in the random clips I have here, but I think this is when I accidentally pressed tab and I discovered you could switch to old graphics. And I in the original recording of my voice, you can hear me saying, I much prefer the original one, but I'm going to keep playing on the remastered one for consistency.
See, out of all the missions, I'm fine with the remastered graphics, outside of like Forerunner Structures and 343 Guilty Spark.
I feel like
I don't know if you want me to go on a rant about that mission and spoil it, or if you want me to just shut my lips.
I feel like anything relating to the Flood or any sense of horror or tension is lost in the remastered version.
It very much is.
Yeah, so if you want a happy little shoot 'em up Halo game, sure. But if I want to introduce someone to the Halo series, I'm always going to say Halo 2. Well, you know, I'm always going to say the original games.
Yeah.
Oh,
the OGs.
And there I go. Oh, by the way, so you know, I'm not actually playing through, like, Halo Combat Evolved and all that in order. I'm playing through each campaign or mission involving the Master Chief in chronological order. So essentially, we're going through the timeline from start to finish of the Master Chief.
I mean, if you really want to get picky, There is a hidden scene if you play Reach on Legendary. If you hold right on the D-pad in the very last cutscene, you can see Master Chief in a cryo pod.
Oh yes,
So Master Chief's in Halo, which means you're not playing in order, buddy.
No, I'm only playing the missions where he is a playable character.
No, I feel ya. I feel ya.
Did I just accidentally trim out the bit where I think I pressed tab just to see, I can't remember what it was. What would my monkey brain be thinking when I press tab? All I can think of is like scoreboards or tabs, but this isn't multiplayer. Oh boy. I don't know. I think I was considering jumping down there because it's like bright light. Where should I go?
I swear to God, if you could jump down there. I swear to God, man.
Oh, I know.
I'm not religious, but I swear to God.
By the way, oh, there we go. There it is. That's where I accidentally pressed tab, and I'm like, whoa. I can't believe I grew up with these graphics. I honestly prefer the older ones here. I think it's because they look like they're made of concrete and stone. And, you know, you can imagine that they've been left there and...
Yeah. So, like, picture this, alright? Maybe 10,000 years. No one's been in this structure whatsoever, alright?
Yeah.
It's been abandoned and it's a derelict, and you even start off the mission and Cortana's saying it's derelict. And you walk in, there's these bright lights, and it's pristine, and why is this not derelict?
Everything is pristine in the new one. Also,
I'm sorry, did someone come before me with a fucking bottle of bleach and clean it for me?
I don't.
I appreciate it, but no.
Yeah, then I go outside and I try. It's because I don't really recognize this area, and I believe after I kill these people, I look out over to the ocean, I press tab and just say, "This is the Halo I grew up with and loved." I just had like I got an extreme hit of nostalgia.
You became boomer.
Now, the thing I'm worried about is if I prefer the old graphics and design just because I grew up with that. I don't know, would kids nowadays look at it and just say, oh, this is garbage, and then only want to play remastered?
Unfortunately, yes.
I feel like there'd be a lot less tolerance, sorry, to the lower part. Here it is.
Think of what a lot of kids are playing nowadays, like Fortnite.
I mean,
big, bright, colourful colours.
Even Fortnite's a simplified cartoon style.
Yeah, but still, it's big, bright, colourful colours. CE doesn't have a lot of pop-in colours like the remaster graphics do. Call of Duty Cold War. These beautiful graphics and detailing. You don't have that. And so, newer gamers these days are looking at this going, where's the detail? Where are the colours? Where's my Fortnite?
I feel like with a remastered version, you know, one that I would play, I would want it to stick to all of the original lighting and color palettes, literally just original Halo, but add ray tracing. And I'm happy. Because I think the only thing that really dates it so much, if you look at this right here, is just the lighting.
Yeah.
Because you can look past all the stuff in the distance if there's a bit of fog and nice reflection. Do you see what I mean, by the way? The atmosphere goes from like a deep bluey green, like an alien atmosphere, to this happy yellow morning.
Yeah, to a nice bright warm afternoon.
Here we go, we're coming up on that moment of, this is the Halo I grew up with.
I will say, I much prefer the newer Skybox.
Oh yeah, newer Skybox is great.
But it doesn't hit the same. Oh, it doesn't hit the same.
Once again, I am remembering what I was thinking. I remember I was looking out into the ocean and I saw how instead of just ocean, there were also islands, and it made it look like lots of it was a dead, desolate landscape. I don't know why, but I seem to remember this place having a much more grim atmosphere.
It did. It very much did.
Oh boy.
A lot of, especially in arts, a lot of blue-grey tones are used to convey an idea of downness, depression, melancholy, that sort of thing. When you replace those blues with like nice warm reds and yellows, it doesn't have the same effect.
Sorry, I'm laughing because you say downness, depression, and melancholy, and I'm just shooting that guy because he's refusing to drive. He's just sort of bugging out and refusing to drive.
There is only, I believe there's only one time in CE where an AI will want to drive you, and that's a scripted event.
Oh no. Oh wait, to see. Is this
otherwise you have to be quite lucky.
Yeah, I have quite a few situations that I usually cut out of videos where I get really annoyed at the fact that the person isn't that the person isn't driving and I just shoot them all to death, and then I have to restart that pass again.
Oh, you don't understand. There have been so many times I'd play the first mission and just kill everyone.
Switchback coming. I don't recognize this scene, so I press tab and I instantly remember the mission, which I find quite funny.
Yeah,
it's gonna come in a few seconds.
This is a mission section I always played a lot of.
Yeah, here we go.
Mainly because I always remember getting my warthog stuck in the rocks. Hopelessly stuck.
I think I had to restart this one once or twice, because the first time I was caught off guard by aliens, the second I saw the humans, and I just immediately, just instinctively flick shot the head, and they just killed me. I killed one of them, and then usually if I accidentally kill someone, my immediate reaction is just to shoot the rest. You know, leave no witnesses.
You are a super soldier destined to save their people. Kills them.
Yeah. I always found that quite funny. Actually, in Reach I was experimenting earlier today and I shot a civilian in the head, you know, near the end, because it said load save checkpoint. And it put me right back to the start of the mission immediately. It just killed me. Didn't give me any warning or anything. Oh, here's the guy. I think they
kill the civilians, you're fucked.
Oh, I think they were bugged out on my first try before I got ambushed by the aliens, because they refused to move. So I believe I was shooting them here to try provoke a reaction to see, you know, if they would at least move.
No.
Yeah, no. I didn't know if they were supposed to go with me or not.
Oh, no, there you go.
Yeah, that.
Unfortunately, despite how advanced the enemy AI was for CE, the Marine AI didn't fare that same treatment.
Oh, I remember in my Halo 2 series, I doubt you've seen it, all 4 parts. I remember I was driving and I can't remember if it was a water... Oh no, it was a tank. I was driving and a random guy just screamed and dove down in front of me and I tapped him. There was the lightest amount of red. And then all of them turned on me. Just immediately, rocket launchers out shooting.
I think the mission... it was the mission after Metropolis, the one with the Scarab.
Yeah.
Get in the tank, and they'll just jump in front of you. I can run over one, and they'll be perfectly fine. They'll get up and like, don't worry, Chief, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like, if you nick one, just with the very corner of the back of your tank, they all hate you.
I wish it was a Doom guy situation, you know, when you're... Or Doomslayer, sorry. When you're just sort of walking through the room, then one guy just has that look of, you know what, you kill one of my friends, and then you just glance at them, they scream in terror. Yeah, I wish it was like that, you know. Have you read any of the stories with Master Chief?
I have not read.
He is essentially a god. He can just single-handedly send things flying across a, I don't know, like a large area. He can kill things effortlessly. You can deploy him against a full armada of aliens and he would come out on top.
See, I haven't read any of the books myself, but I've recently come across a little rabbit hole on YouTube where this one guy takes sections of these books and recreates.
Now, I have a question about that, because I haven't seen those. By any chance, does it depict Master Chief as being a godlike entity? Because he was.
Very much so.
He was an unstoppable force. If he met the Doomslayer, it would be like a baby in a little tub of his yogurt his mum gave him. You know,
I'm pretty sure the first video I found was the first video I found of this was when he bashed a Banshee like 100 meters into the sky. Rocket jumped up to it, kicked the guy out, took over the Banshee, and then proceeded to splatter in midair with the Banshee. And they recreated that in CE. And all I could do was, whoa.
Yeah, I assume they just exploited the buggy physics engine.
Oh yeah.
But Master Chief is a god, so if you read anything about him officially, just be prepared for disappointment when you see him in game again. Oh, and in case you're wondering why I quickly switched graphics there, you'll notice how I clipped through the ship. I didn't know if that was a remastered thing or not. It isn't, you can't touch the ship.
There's only one part of the ship that has a hitbox, and that's the gun.
Yeah. I don't even bother getting those anymore. Oh, by the way, we're actually coming near the end of the mission. In my opinion, this is one of the most forgettable missions I have ever played in Halo.
It's
Because you start off...
In my opinion, it's the mission everyone remembers. It's the mission everyone goes, oh, this is Halo, but you don't actually remember it.
I don't remember it because it's like you start off in a field. And then what, I can't even remember now. You shoot some people, you go in through that building where you cross a bridge, and then you come out on the field again, in a new field. It was so repetitive that I had to question. I questioned multiple times if I'd accidentally gone back to the same place. Yeah, if you have a look at my Steam profile, I've been getting a ton of achievements. At the moment,
you get a lot.
We are 2 minutes away from the end, by the way.
But yes, no, this mission was... It's not one that you specifically remember.
It's interesting.
But when you see it, you know it's Halo.
Yeah, I mean, if you see anything Halo, you know it's Halo. Oh yeah, look,
yes, this Halo is made of Halo.
Here's me looping around to see if I just ended up near the start, because it just felt like I'd made no progress. Because everything looks so similar in the remaster. You know, the way it's done, it all looks very samey, there's no change in atmosphere. I honestly could not tell if I'd just done a full circle.
I remember the first time I ever played this, back on my original Xbox at home on my birthday. I spent an hour in just this section.
Oh boy.
Because I didn't realise that the blue lights meant go this way.
Oh, there's a bit earlier on that I cut out where I spent a ton of time. I didn't know remastered graphics, so I spent like a ton of time trying to figure out if it was one of the hologram pickups or active camo pickups you can get in the multiplayer. Well, that's literally it.
Well, you did better than I expected.
Look at me here. It was open, so I thought you just walked in to finish the level.
No, no, not quite.
Yeah, you have to wait.
Some parts yes, some parts no.
I'm so confused right now. My brain is scrambled. There we go.
There we go.
And there we go. Now we just have the dramatic fade to black menu.
A nice, good golf club for yourself.
Yeah. Woo! We did well. Oh, and now you can see. Now you can see Premiere. So what are your thoughts on my gameplay? Was that extremely riveting? Can you tell I'm a professional player?
As a professional player.
I am indeed the most professional.
You did better than what my first time was. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, you say that, but I grew up playing this game.
Likewise, it was my first game. But no, definitely not bad. You did well.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, thanks for wasting your time here. Is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, sure, subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Okay, so I have a YouTube channel called Minirow, and I also have a gun. Do you want to say anything?
Subscribe to this guy, yeah.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
You don't want to be a bit more specific? We're not. I mean, you seem to be struggling there for words. You could do with some extra courses. You gotta take some speaking courses. No place like Skillshare. Skillshare.com.